a 2026.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is G Walker, one half of the CNG podcast.
And I'm CJ, the other half.
Breaking news, actually. So I was going to go directly to Is That McNuts? But I have breaking news, and someone tell me, oh, here it is. Okay. According to Adam Schefter, the Kansas City Chiefs are trading a 2026 fourth-round pick to the Chicago Bears for Pro Bowl offensive lineman Joe Thuney. Well, isn't that an interesting little dynamic here? Joe Thuney, who was hailed by everyone as basically being the hero for the Chiefs last year, moving from the inside on the offensive line, where he has been one of the very best for a long time as a guard, moving outside when they desperately needed him because they were having so much trouble at the left tackle position. And now instead, they've got Thuney being traded to Chicago. This is literally something I'm getting as we speak. Can I get my football crew in here? Come on, Louis, just sit wherever you want to. If we're doing this, I need to have a conversation about it. What is our reaction? The Bears trading for Joe Thuney and the Chiefs' willingness to trade him away.
Well, yesterday, Jonah Smith, right? And going to Ben Johnson is solidifying that offensive line for his young quarterback. But for me, the Kansas City Chiefs always play chess, not checkers. So this tells me they're maybe gearing up for Ronnie Stanley to be able to get the outstanding Baltimore Raven left tackle, make sure that the blind side of Patrick Mahomes is secure. They tag Trey Smith. So they have a plan. Maybe they see something, maybe some regression. This is a piece that they're moving out. They're moving out a year early, maybe not a year too late.
But Joe's one of the best.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. He's one of the very best.
He costs a lot of money.
You're right. And look, the interior three of that offensive line, if they had kept Joe and had Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, that's the best interior three in the NFL. Yes. I mean, obviously, Philadelphia would beg to differ, but I would say they are. The problems are at tackle for Kansas City for sure. And are they going the veteran route with this, or are they going to try and draft someone? Look, I think obviously you have to try and plug this in. You have to try and find someone right now who's an option for them at left tackle. It's a little bit of a shock because, look, I think Joe Thuney is potentially a Hall of Famer. Yeah. And had he stayed at offensive guard last year, he would have been a Pro Bowler. He would have been an All-Pro player. He was just playing out of position. But if you're the Bears, look, this is exactly what you need to do. This is exactly the kind of players you need to go get if you want to really have Caleb try to ascend.
Because everything is about Caleb's development.
Yeah.
Last year, you got to see, he looked shaky at times. There was some flashes, but you realize in talking to Ryan Poles at the Combine, you know, he talked about there were steps missed in the development of Caleb Williams. You got to have all the pieces in front of him, right? You got to give him protection. And also, this is a critical year for a second-year player with another head coach, another guy in his ear. So I like it for the Bears. Curious to see what the Chiefs have coming up.
It's Ronnie Stanley. I'm telling you, they going big fish hunting. They
need to.
They dip in the Ravens all the time. They got Orlando Brown Jr. from there. They're going to go out and because they still feel like you got to protect the edges. There's too many great dynamic outside rushers. It's great to have guys in the inside, but if Patrick Mahomes can't circle the defense, step up, step out, then you have to make sure that you can solidify him. And Joe Thuney at 32 years old, you know, he may have some good prime years left. You got to get younger at the position. They don't have the money. They're creating flexibility so they can go big fish.
And as far as the Bears are concerned, and we just saw that stat there from Hembo, Caleb Williams took a beating last year. There were a million different reasons for that, including the offensive system and including some of Caleb's deficiencies himself. But a legitimate concern was that they didn't address the offensive line sufficiently. And so here they are back-to-back days making moves for offensive line.
Yeah, what's interesting to me, though, Bart, is this. I mean, look, if you're Baltimore, offensive line is not like something I want to be fooling with. Right. I mean, Ronnie Stanley is someone who I'm trying to make a priority to make sure that we keep that group of five together as well. Because remember, that unit was housing people this year. So look, I mean, if I'm Eric DaCosta right now and I'm Ozzie Newsome and I'm John Harbaugh, I'm going, do we really want to let him get up out of here?
But remember what happened, right? They paid Ronnie Stanley. He got hurt the next week. Yeah. He was down for 2 years. So they didn't get their money's worth for 2 years, and they have to reset and recalibrate. Whenever you're paying all these guys, you have to redistribute the funds. And now Ronnie Stanley may have to graduate out. But I don't worry about the Baltimore Ravens identifying talent and replacing great players. Yeah. They have a history of that.
Now, I'm just saying, look, obviously the incumbent team always knows more about the player than the team that's going to be acquiring them.
Right.
Look, I would just say, look, Brett, if you're watching this show, just tread lightly because, look, his injury history is not something that Baltimore is just aware of. You have to be aware of, too. Right. But, Rodney's a bad dude when he's out there. This is an interesting one because, obviously, we know that offensive tackle, I said that was the number one priority for me to see what happens this offseason. Right. What do they do at offensive line? The same way when they came off of that 2020 Super Bowl and got housed by Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they got completely dominated in the Super Bowl. Frankly, they got dominated in a lot of different ways in the Super Bowl. But this was the first area that you think Kansas City is looking to address. So, again, a bit of a surprise. The breaking news here, Joe Thuney traded from Kansas City to...
I'll get right to you guys in a second. Give me 1 second. I'll be on camera in just a second. How everybody doing out there tonight? Welcome from everybody that's on X, everybody that's on Facebook, everybody that's on YouTube. We got some special guests in the building. We got the Bears Den podcast with our boy Andy. And then we got that man, the Double C Chicago Clarence. Then we got our OG Allen is in the building. You know, I'm G Walker. I'm here. And we just waiting on CJ to get up in here. Then it's going down, y'all. So just be patient with us, man. We got some stuff going on right now. So nothing too crazy. And I'm gonna give you guys some background music, and then guys can talk amongst themselves. So give me like 2 minutes, and we're gonna get to it, man. If you're in here right now, you're on X, please like, please react to it, please share this around, tag whoever, let's go. We got 30 people in here right now. We just warming it up, everybody. We're just getting the audience. And we got a little music playing in the background right now, so I'll be on camera in just a second. Give me 1 minute. But right now we got Chicago Clarence in the building. Then we got Andy in the building. What's going on, y'all?
What's up, my brother?
How are you?
Let me know if the music too loud. I can turn it down. All right, I'm about to come in here. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Hey, CJ, I need you to switch with me. You know what, Andy? Andy, come in and come back out, Andy, real quick.
I'll do that. Just leave.
Yeah, just come back in real quick. Maybe that's me. Hold on. There we go. And this shit tripping. All right, man. I'm in here, man. Can y'all see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah.
Man, this why getting people on the right side of this thing, depending on how your camera is situated. What's going on, Shot? What's going on, Andrew from YouTube? We got Chi-Town Bears in here. What's going on, bro? He said G-Walk. We got Allen in here. We got Chicago clearance. So we just gotta wait for I gotta let him back in.
Yeah.
Are y'all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is G Walker, one half of the CNG podcast.
And I'm CJ, the other half of the CNG podcast.
Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? It's G Walker, the CNG podcast. And I got my gang in here with me. I got my boy, I got my partners, Allen. I got my partner, CJ. We got a special guest in here, the Bears Den podcast. Man, how everybody doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Allen? And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we got our sixth person from Chicago Bears Central and the Shy Boys podcast of the Cognac Boys. We got Bobby in here. Bobby, what's going on, bro?
What's the word, y'all? How everybody doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. I can hear y'all, but I can't hear y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling about the last couple of days, man?
Very good.
Can you hear me, Walker?
I can hear you a little bit.
That any better?
Yeah, let me turn this music off, man. All right, what's up, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Good.
Yeah. Is it any better now?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a lot
you're
better. At least on my end. That was probably me. So what's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
Man, how y'all
Man,
feeling
listen,
these last 2 days, man? Like,
We got
It's
free
been-
agency
it's-
starting
it's-
next week, bro.
Yeah.
say that again?
And we got free agency starting next week, and we getting primed and getting ready for it. Very exciting what's happening with what we see. I like this approach.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Andy, how you
Right.
feeling, man?
Well, I think Ryan Poles just told everybody he's not messing around. He's not waiting for free agency. He's making moves now. He's ready to go right now. I mean, they're interesting. I mean, Joe Thuney, I like. He's a veteran. He's proven. Pro Bowler, All-Pro, Super Bowl rings. I'm not worried about him. The other one, with his injury history, I'm on the fence about. I feel like we just traded Tevin Jenkins for another injured player. I'm kind of on the fence about Jonah Jackson, but Joe Thuney, I love it. We got us a leader. We already got the captain on the offensive line. I love the move. And for a fourth rounder next year, I'd pay that again. No problem.
Right. I couldn't hear anything, man. Anybody got a loud mic besides me?
I got one.
Yeah, man. I can hear Andrew a little bit, but I can't hear him like I need to hear him. CJ, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, G.
Yeah, man.
Bears doing a lot of positive things right now, man. So if you're a fan, you gotta be excited.
Right. So, man, so a lot of people been talking crap about, Ryan Poles. We all know that Ryan Poles hasn't pretty much doing a good job with his draft picks as far as the offensive line. And my philosophy has always been this whole time, I don't know if y'all agree with me, is that you should be building through free agency. You should be building with guys that's done it before. We shouldn't be bargain bin shopping, getting offensive linemen, 6-round picks, just picking up guys off the street, to play offensive line. And Ryan Poles been an ex-offensive lineman and not hitting out the park, whether it's through free agency, whether it's through the draft, strikeout after strikeout. It's been a problem with him and his tenure on building this offensive line. So, Bobby, in your opinion, what has changed the most that has Ryan Poles actually going to get these guys? What's changed?
Realizing that you can't go out there and be cheap with offensive linemen and think that your offensive line is going to be good. You seen last season, they picked up some decent offensive linemen, some guys that were reserves with other teams, some guys that maybe, flashed a little bit there. But you already know, if you want to have a good offensive line, you got to get guys that are proven. Now, I will add on, now that you have some guys that are proven, and I'm with Andy, you got to be concerned about Jonah Jackson's injury history, but you got to go out there and you still got to utilize the draft. Now that you got guys that have some skin in the game, that are proven, and you hope that a change of scenery will do well for Jonah Jackson, now you got to use 2025 capital as a bridge. Because Joe Thuney ain't young. He's not 26 years old. This guy's in his 30s. Maybe 3-4 years left in his NFL career. Maybe. Could go longer on some Jason Peters stuff. But that's not always a guarantee for big fellas that's battling every single play. But I do love the moves. I do respect the moves. I do appreciate the aggressiveness, because you can't continue to sit around and do nothing. And what Ryan Poles has showed over the years, if he moves one way and he realizes it's a mistake, he quickly pivots. He did it with Chase Claypool. He did it with Nate Davis. Now he doing it with all those backups that he signed last year and went out there and listened to Ben Johnson and say, hey, we're going to get some guys that we know that can come in and fill the void, at least for right now, to help our young quarterback develop. It's going to be interesting moving forward. Like Clarence talked about next week when free agency open up. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, well said, Bobby. So Chicago Clarence, man, you've been on Ryan Poles' bumper since I first met you, bro, as far as his lack of commitment to the offensive line, committing to the defensive line, and just being a real GM, man, and not putting your quarterback in situations for him to get sacked 68 times. So what are your thoughts on just what he's done in the last 2 days, man? Like, how do you feel? Like, where are you at with Ryan Poles? Just give me your thoughts.
Well, I like him being aggressive and giving the Bears options when free agency starts. Based on what they choose to do in that, we're going to have options when the draft comes along. This is something that he had to do. If you want to invest what he has invested in Caleb Williams, then you got to protect him, because he cannot operate. And I don't care who you are. Everybody says Patrick Mahomes is the greatest of all time, and he's still in his career. But you guys saw what happened in the Super Bowl. And if you don't get protected, it doesn't matter who you are. You will not be able to succeed. And the national pundits giving Caleb Williams the time that they have given him, talking about Jaden Daniels was the better pick, was the pick the Bears should have done, and not even taking the time to look at Williams has had to operate. He's finna go into year 2. He's going to be on his 3rd offensive coordinator and the 2nd head coach. I mean, really and truly, what do you expect the guy to be able to do? So, all that said, this is what Ryan Poles needed to do. He needed to go out there and make good, sound decisions. Now, what my man just got through saying is all true. Those guys are stopgaps. We need to see the bigger picture. So, for right now, I feel like these are options that we got. We can extend Jackson if we choose it. We could just extend Thuney, because Thuney has been an all-pro at guard. So, I would think that we probably will extend him, get that cap number down so we can continue to be aggressive on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, we have to see the big picture. We have to see what's going on in free agent. We have to see what's going on in the draft. But CJ, you know, this is what I was saying about the whole situation with Jonah Jackson. And we're going to get into it a little bit. We got a couple of pieces we're going to talk about. But I'd rather get a 1-year rental than overpay for a guy than Tevin Jenkins that's been hurt majority of his career. Like, I didn't want to overpay for him and for him to be hurt majority of the time. And I know, you know, that Tevin's played more games and all this other stuff, but I don't know if I was ready to build around Tevin Jenkins as far as letting him be a starter still on his team. So, CJ, how do you feel about Ryan Poles going the cheap route, but getting a guy that's familiar with Ben Johnson's system? How do you feel about that, C?
I mean, I think it was the best situation for the Bears right now because we seen that that Trey Smith was picked up by the he was re-signed by the Chiefs. So that pretty much put him out the Bears picture. So, I mean, Jonah Jackson may have been hurt, last year, but it probably was the best option for the Bears right now.
Yeah, and I agree with you, man. I just think that you got to get some guys that's done it before. So I love the fact that Ben Johnson went out, got someone that was familiar, someone that's played in the system that was cheap. You know what I mean? It's only $11 million cap hit on our cap, so it's not bad. So, but let me get into some comment. We got Andrew saying, depending on how Poles talks with his money. What's up, Scotty? Scotty says, getting them early so no one else can snatch them up or use them for trade bait during the draft is smart. Yeah, I like that. Then we got Audrey saying, holla back CNG podcast. We got Ish the Dan. Ish the Don, what's going on? Ish, we appreciate you in here. So, Bobby, I want to get your thoughts on this real quick. Getting them early so no one else can snatch them up or use them for trade bait during the draft is smart. So what do you got to say about that, B?
I got a lot to say about it. I once read that Bill Parcells said, never go to the grocery store hungry. So Ryan Poles, don't go to the draft hungry. I remember last year when we drafted Rome, you had the clip of Ian Cunningham, like, just chill. You know what I'm saying? Relax. He'll be there. Mm-hmm. And he was there, so you didn't have to use extra capital. To get a Pro Bowler and Joe Thuney for a 6th-round pick next year, that's a win. To go and pick up Jonah Jackson, like I said, it is a risk. But in the NFL, you got to take risks so you can see if you can build out your stuff. And why not get it out the way right now so you can have a clearer vision going into the draft than saying, we waiting, we resting on our laurels, we're going to see who we sign, we're going to see who's potentially. You don't want to get into bidding wars with guys. That's how you end up overpaying. So right now, you attacking this situation early. You look at it. I like the aggressiveness early on, but it has to continue because we know as Bear fans, the greatest time is the offseason. We want wins through the regular season now. So to Clarence's point earlier, bigger picture stuff, but I do like the aggressiveness for sure.
Yeah. So, Andrew, what do you got to say about this from Scott? He said, get them early so no one can snatch them up and use it for trade bait during the draft, man. It's smart. So Ryan Poles is doing the right things, you think?
Absolutely. I mean, he got in there early. He got in there quick. He got in there before someone else could make a move. And he got the guys he wanted. I mean, I think Ben Johnson wanted Jonah Jackson more than anybody. I think Ryan Poles knows exactly who Joe Thuney is because he was there in Kansas City with him. He got in there early. He got in there quick. And at the end of the day, they're only on 1-year deals. If they don't work out, we're not obligated to pay them next year. So it's a win-win. So I do think we need to still go guard in the draft. One of them two probably is not going to be here next year. So we're looking way far ahead. But I think it's a win-win. Jonah Jackson, like I said, he's risky. That's a risky move. But I mean,
I love it. Hold on, we got some more comments. We got Jimbo from X. What up, Jimbo, man? Glad to finally got you in the podcast, bro. We just giving everybody your thoughts, man. You can leave your comments about anything we're talking about, bro. Proven talent. So I'm gonna go with Chicago Clarence on that. So Chicago Clarence, how much does it matter that it's proven talent? I mean, he's a 4-time Super Bowl champion, man, and Joseph. So what are your thoughts on that before we get into the other content pieces, man?
Well, my guy Andy keeps talking about Jackson being a medical risk and injury risk, and that's true. but I think that if we line him up, he's a better player than Tevin Jenkins. So if both of them have injury concerns, which one would you rather have? The better player. So for my money, and we're only going to give up a 6th-round pick for him, basically it's what we, got for Justin Fields with Pittsburgh. It's a really low-risk move. Thuney is the one that I am really, really excited about because, like I said, he was all-pro at guard. So 4-time all-pro, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the kind of talent we ain't never had on this offensive line in about 10, 15 years since, we lost some other guys. So right now, I think the one thing that's going to matter the most, and we ain't really touched on it yet, is the coach.
Go ahead, bro.
We talked about this on our show last night. When is the last time you've seen a guy who can call plays the way Ben Johnson can call plays in the Bears offensive coordinator room?
Never.
When is the last time you've been able to couple that with a defensive player? We've usually had one or the other, but never the both at the same time. So what I'm saying is proper coaching, because you can't run a high power offense if you ain't got a high power offensive line. And that's the reason why Ben Johnson has been able to get in there and say, hey, Ryan, look here, bro. I know how you like to do things. I know how things have been done in the past. But if you want to win, it all starts up front. Let's go get this guy. Let's go get that guy. There is a plan in place. Because how many times we've had shows? You probably have had him, Walker. I know we've had him. But how many times we've had shows talking about this? They don't know what the hell they're doing. Finally seems like they know what they're doing. There's a plan in place. And that's what I can get with.
I love it, man. I love it. Oh, hold on, Bobby. My bad, Bobby. Got Bobby out of here. I thought I had. Yeah. So Bobby, anything you want to piggyback off what Chicago Clarence was saying? I'm gonna ask CJ too. About
no, I think that it's fair. I think that, like I said, I think with football, man, especially when you talk about offensive linemen and stuff like that, there's always going to be some type of risk. That's just the way of the game is. And these guys are battling every single play. Special teams, offense, and then, you know what I'm saying, the big guys in the trenches on the defensive side. Big guys on the defensive side, they always battle it, so injuries are always going to be a concern. But sometimes you got to go ahead and take the risk, and to give up these picks in, late rounds or in the next year's draft, hey, that's a good plan to go with. So I agree with Clarence.
So CJ, how do you feel about this, man? And shout out to the 82 people that's in here right now, man. This is incredible. We appreciate everybody that's pulled up to the show. We appreciate anybody that's retweeting, reposting on Facebook, on X, on YouTube, man. We appreciate it, man. Welcome to the CNG podcast with our special guest, man. We love it, man. So CJ, how do you feel about this, man? How do you feel about the trade and everything that's going on with this guy right here, Joe Thuney, man? He's a leader. What do you think?
It's good and it's positive. It's a good signing, a good trade. Excuse me, but you can tell that the Bears are being aggressive, that they're headed in the right direction. All they gotta do is keep moving forward, keep doing the same thing they've been doing, now and moving forward. But this is a positive trade right here. In fact, they gave up a 6th-round pick. A 4th-round pick to get him. Yo, that screams alarms.
Yeah, and I agree. So we're gonna get into the comments, and Andy, I'm gonna come to you, Andy, with my next question.
Okay.
We got Soulback Sports saying, "What's up, y'all? What's going on, little bro? How you feeling, man?" We got Soulback Sports saying, "Experience can help younger talent we could get in the draft." Yeah, you have to have experience in order to start your farm. You got to have a farm, and you can't start a farm without you having some bulls, so the young bulls can know what to do. So I appreciate it, man. So Andy, so what do you think is going to be the number one thing that Tony's going to provide right off the bat? What is it?
Leadership, experience. He's going to help these kids. We already have our captain on the offensive line. I mean, darn near right, Jonah Jackson, Braxton Jones are still kids. They're still in their 20s, mid-20s. I mean, some of those guys are still in their rookie contracts. And he's He's the best player on the offensive line right now, by far. Most experience. He's got Super Bowl rings to show everybody. And he's going to be the captain. He's going to be the leader. Everybody will look to him on the right way to do it and get it done. So I just expected leadership. That's what I expect from him the most. And an all-pro guy that goes to work every single day. I think he missed 2 games his entire career, if I'm not mistaken. And one wasn't his fault because they decided to sit him because Kansas City had already locked up a bye. So he's basically missed 1 game his entire career. That's what you want. A guy that goes to work every day. Gets it done.
I agree, man. I think he's going to come in with experience, a championship pedigree. He's going to come in knowing what to do. He's going to know where his teammates supposed to be and everything, where every teammate's hand's supposed to be, feet, because he's used to stability in the offensive line coming from a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. He's used to it. He's going to know right off the bat who's doing what wrong, who's doing what right, and he'll be able to relay that to the quarterback, and he'll be able to relay that to the rest of the offensive line. So, Bobby, what is the number one thing to you that you think Thuney is going to provide once he gets here?
Championship pedigree. You got to get guys in the building that want to win. I seen a Chicago Bears team after the Washington game. Your season wasn't over, but they quit. They quit. We got to call a spade a spade. Your season was not over after the Hail Mary. It was just that they had an idiot as a head coach. They had a bozo as an OC. And the team was just like, these guys pretty much cost us games. And I really believe, and I'm going to stick by that this team believed that they pretty much could have went undefeated until London and came out of the bye week fired. I really believe that they had that belief early on, and they just seen countless mistakes, terrible play calls, terrible personnel on the field in crucial moments. These weird different things, instead of giving the ball to Rojo or somebody that can punch the ball in at the goal line, you say, nah, Doug Kramer, come on, offensive lineman, come on. We're going to cut Kari Blasingame, but we're going to give Doug Kramer as a fullback to go ahead and punch it in. The team, they knew that. There was rumblings that these guys knew that things were taking place way back in minicamp, training camp. These guys are professionals. And JJ, he tired of losing. Guys are tired of losing. They want to play meaningful football in December and January. So I think Joe Thuney brings that championship pedigree. He's going to be able to convey the message that Ben Johnson wants the Chicago Bears to go out there and execute. Because though we criticize coaching, there was a lack of player execution from my point of view as well. And that comes down to coaching, but it also comes down to player leadership. DJ Moore came out in the damn press conference and was like, I don't even know why they voted me as a captain. He literally said that. So, it was just a bunch of weird stuff. So I think that the temperature is going to change. They're going to bring in guys that they believe that can convey the message and push this thing forward, because we tired of having incredible offseason and turning up and cheering and acting like we won something in our offseason when we know that the games are won during the season. That's all we want as Bears fans. We can take a couple losses, but we want to see our damn Bears play in the playoffs for once in a long time. So I think Joe Thuney brings that championship pedigree. He ain't going to let nothing swing on the wayside. No. Not after
and I gotta agree, because he's not going to accept it, man. He comes from a structured place, discipline, on time, getting reps. Like everything they do in Kansas City has a meaning behind it. What we saw from the Chicago Bears this last 3 years, even with Nagy or Eberflus or anybody like that, it's just been chaos. It's been, okay, let's just get DJ Moore some catches just because he's the highest paid on the team. Then let's get Keenan Allen some catches just because we need to get him right, instead of just seeing the rhythm. This throw leads to that throw. This catch leads to this run. Like, we never see that from a Chicago Bears team. So it has to start up front. So Chicago Clarence, man, what do you think about what Bobby's pretty much been saying about the nonsense and everything like that, and about it's just time? Do these guys move the needle? Do you think Tui's going to move the needle to get to winning?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that having a player in the locker room with pedigree that can stand up in front of people and tell everybody to shut up and do their job is very, very important. Let's remember something. That's the reason why we supposedly didn't draft Jalen Carter, because we didn't have leaders in the locker room that they felt like can take him under their wing and bring him along. Now, I personally think that's a stupid reason not to draft a player that you desperately needed, especially when we see Jalen Carter eating the way that he is. Imagine having that monster on our D-line. However, I want to go back to the Washington game as well, just like Bobby was saying, because we were saying the same thing on our show. It absolutely bothers me that the players quit, because you could say what you want to say about the coaches and whatnot, and we all can agree that Eberflus was an idiot. But when you're getting paid millions of dollars to go out there and perform or play a game, that's what the expectation is. And everybody on this podcast, the people who are in the chat, expect better from our players. We, as fans, deserve better. And at the same time, when you look at how this organization does its business, finally, hopefully, we got people that's going to start holding players accountable as well, so that type of nonsense don't go on. Because I think we all can agree we had absolutely no business losing the Washington game. We damn sure had no business losing the game against the Patriots. I don't care what nobody say. At home, by 2 touchdowns to that team. So finally, this thing start to line up. But I mean, I'm not gonna lighten up on Poles at all. I'm gonna still hold his feet to the fire, because there's things that continue to go on that pisses me off, like them raising ticket prices. Maybe that may be later on your show. I'm not gonna give it away, but you can't do stuff like that when you coming off 2 back-to-back seasons with double-digit losses. You raised ticket prices last year. You raised ticket prices again this year. As an organization, we got to do better.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. We got to do better, man. Raising the ticket prices, when you put out terrible product after terrible product year after year, and people, and it's crazy because like Alan can speak on this, man. Alan, welcome to the show, man. We've been talking about, the
What's
two
up,
guards that we got. We're going to get your thoughts on that, but we're going to go off of this right here, what Chicago Clarence just said, and I'm going to get your opinion on the guard that we got. But can you speak on the rising of the tickets and what you said last show about it, and what's going on with that?
Well, I think the tickets, y'all, is really about the stadium, man. They got it's a family-owned business. Chicago is not really putting forth the effort to keep the Bears in Chicago, so they're not getting a lot of public funds. So I'm not trying to make no excuses, but just looking at the business side of it, they got to get the money somewhere, and so it's going to be Joe Smo who's going to have to pay for it. I hate to say it like that, but that's just what Chicago's looking at. Now, if they win football games, I don't think none of us up here will mind the ticket prices going up. But they got to win football games in order for them to get that demand up. Right now, they're like right there at the middle, and I agree with Chicago Clan. I don't see why we did that when we haven't been to the playoffs in a couple of years, but I understand it, if that makes sense. So, business is business. Caleb, he's going to be a franchise quarterback. So I can see the motive, but if they win ball games, then it would justify the increase, I think.
Well said. But Alan, we're going to get your opinion on this right here. And I keep messing up this dude's name. Is it Thuney?
Thuney.
I'm
so
sorry. What was your
first
reaction when you seen this? We got Jonah Jackson, somebody that's familiar with Ben Johnson's scheme, somebody that played for Ben Johnson for 2 years, that knows how to play guard in the system. But this was the big splash. This was the bigger splash today. So what are your thoughts on this trade right here? Because he's a leader, 4-time Super Bowl champ. You know what I mean? And he seems to be getting better every year. He's not declining. So what are your thoughts on this right here? Because we seem like we struck out on Trey Smith. Not like for trying, but he's younger, so they're going to pay him. You know what I mean? So we got the next best thing. So what do you think?
Yeah. I think Thuney position skill set, he's a Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. I mean, he can play tackle, he can play guard, he can play center. That position versatility is what I love about him. He's a leader. That's the main thing. He's worthy of putting a C on the chest. We don't think he's not gonna go to the media and say, I don't know why I'm not a captain. You know, why y'all chose me as captain. He's a captain. So we got a guy that's gonna assume that role on the team. So I appreciate this trade. This is more of a locker room move too, to establish culture with a new coach, with Ben. Ben's looking for culture, man. He's looking for culture setters and playmakers. And Thuney, if I'm saying his name right, he's definitely one of those guys. You know, an offensive lineman at 32, y'all, that's okay. You know, a defensive lineman or a defensive edge at 32 has got to require a little bit more athleticism. I would say then he's a little bit long in the tooth. But in the interior offensive line, he got at least a good quality 3 to 4 years. So I agree with Chicago Clancy said earlier. I think we should try to go ahead and extend them and get that number down so we can spread that money across the board a little bit more.
Man, well said. Well, we got some comments in the building right now. What's up with Clay? Clay, well, I appreciate you showing up, man, from X. He said he's going to come through. We got Tyler right here. So I think the 2 guards upgrade, I think it opens the idea of drafting Ashton Genty at 10. We're going to come back to that. Then we got Laura Pfeiffer here saying, yo, Andy, man, just showing you some love and support for y'all's channel, man. So shout out to the people that's coming here for the Bears Den podcast, for Andy and my boy Chicago Clarence. Clay says, Allen is spitting facts, bro. This man right here, Allen, let me tell y'all something. This dude will cook the shit out of anybody on any podcast, bro. And I don't care what anybody says. This is like listening to a teacher talk, bro. He can run this whole shit. I'm glad he's a part of the team. Man, Clay, you gotta peep him doing the season, bro. Our pregame shows and our postgame shows, man. Like, Allen knows ball, bro. Allen knows ball. We got Laura Pfeiffer in here again. So we're gonna get into this. I guess we can talk about it right now. And CJ, I'm gonna come to you. He says he think with these 2 guards right now that they're upgrading. A lot of people want Ashton Genty, man. So CJ, what are your thoughts? Do you think they're getting these 2 guards for Ashton Genty? I'm gonna say no, but what do you think, C?
I mean, a lot of people have been talking about him being drafted at number 10 for the Bears. I think that's a little bit too high, you know, especially for a running back. I mean, don't get me wrong, the kid is talented. You know, I mean, there's plenty of good running backs in this draft. But I just have a problem with him being drafted at 10. I think he can get a little bit more, especially on the offensive line, especially on the defensive line. You know, get something a little bit more efficient at the position that we need. You know, that's my whole feeling on it.
All right, Bobby, what's your thoughts, man? Like I've been back and forth about this, man. I've been telling people I like Genty, but it's kind of like having Caleb Williams for 1 year in the offensive line is not ready. Like, yeah, we can deal with it for a little while. And my biggest take about drafting a running back at 10 is what is his numbers on shedding tackles and after contact yards. That matters to me more than anything because we need a guy that's going to come hit the hole, keep running, and stand up. So everybody's in love with Genty, but I kind of feel like it's the same thing. Like I don't want him to get used up in his ability to get yards after contact. So because I don't want him to get banged up too early, too soon in his career if we go with him without the O-line being solid. Experimenting for a year just to see him do what he can without it is cool. But Bobby, what are your thoughts about this draft and Genty at 10 right now, man?
Hey, G. Walker, I think it was last week, my guy, you started a campaign from a guy that's in orange and white by the name of James Pierce Jr. My whole process is trenches.
Yes.
Trenches. Go get a guy like James Pierce if you able to grab him at 10. Go get a guy like Mason Graham if everybody is turned off by the arm size and the weird body shape and the lack of size. Go build the trenches. Go build the trenches. You see what the Philadelphia Eagles able to do? Go out there and put out that young defense, them dogs up front. You know what I'm saying? And go out there and make some noise to where the young guys thrive so well. They like big play Slay. We appreciate your services. You a Super Bowl champ. We'll holler at you. Go out there and improve these trenches so well to where we don't see too many situations to where the Chicago Bears are in a 3rd and 10, a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 8, and they give up a first down or there's no pressure because Montez Sweat is out there getting doubled and chipped by a running back or a tight end. Go out there and find somebody that you can allow to grow within this team. And then once Montez Sweat contract is up, all right, James Pierce, or Mason Graham or whoever you select in the trenches on the defensive side. Go build this. It's your time to go get paid. I like other running backs that may be in later rounds. I'm talking about those two boys out of Ohio State. I'm not a big fan of Caleb Johnson. That's me personally. I don't think he's a bum. I just don't think he has enough to where you're like in the NFL standpoint to where he gonna be able to break those, have those home run hits, because you need a little bit of shiftiness in you when you're trying to have those home run hits in the NFL. All those lanes and valleys, they not gonna be that wide in the college game. But me personally, I will still attack the trenches, because you picked up Joe Thuney. He's in his 30s. You picked up Jonah Jackson. He's a question mark right now. We know he performed well with Ben Johnson a few years ago, but this past season, only 4 games on the season. Still focus on the trenches, and in the second round, in the third round, you still should be able to fill the void with these running backs who impressed during the combine. So I like Ashton Jeanty. I think that he's a hell of a talent, but at 10, my mindset is still trenches, because if you want to get guys on the ground so your defense, so your offense and Caleb Williams can come back in and let's push this lead, or let's close the gap between this deficit, you gotta have big boys up front that can make impact plays. So I'm still going trenches, bro. Still going trenches.
Man, hey, ladies and gentlemen, that is Bobby from Chicago Bears Central cooking right there, man. Hey, don't get no better than that. But Chicago clearance, you know, we've been seeing this, man. I know that the chat is going to say things, and we got to address the chat and everything like that. So what are your thoughts about drafting Jeanty number 10, man? Because a lot of people running back, but what do you say on that? I haven't had a chance to ask you your thoughts on this all year. So this is our first time really having you in here. So we appreciate that comment, because it helps us with the content and ask questions to the people that's in our special guests. So what's your thoughts about that? We got 2 guards, so you think they still going to try to get a running back at 10, or you don't want a running back?
I don't want a running back at number 10 at all. Absolutely not. Because you have got bigger needs than a running back. If you could take that pick and you can trade it back, and you can get one of those Georgia linebackers down there, and you can also get Omari Hampton from North Carolina. People are sleeping on him. But that boy he reminds me of Jameer Gibbs. He breaks tackles and he has speed. He is a home run threat anytime he touches the ball. Now, you may say that we already have that in Swift, but Swift don't like contact. He don't break tackles. But I guarantee you one thing, Omari Hampton does. We don't need to sit there and try to swing big for the fences to get Jeanty at number 10. Take that pick. You have set yourself up with what you have done the last 2 days. Trade that pick back. Pick up 2 picks. You still got 2 second-round draft picks. And let's not forget, we need to address that defensive line. Before you even think about drafting a running back, you need to address that defensive line, because you are paying Sweat too much money to sit over there on the other side of that line and get double teamed. We got to get him some help. And we need a 3 technique on that line as well, so we can stop the run. Get a linebacker, and you can get Omari Hampton at number 21, because I think that the Tennessee Titans will get the team. Somebody that wants to trade up. Let's partner with that team and trade that number 10 back, move back, garner 2 picks, and we can get a. It's too many running backs in the later rounds, guys. We don't need to draft one at number 10. It's some talented running backs out there that can get us where we're trying to go. But don't sleep on Hampton. Remember that name. Chicago Clarence told you. Yeah. Hampton is a beast.
Absolutely is.
So Alan, what's your thoughts, man? I love the question. We got so many comments, but Alan, we're gonna wrap this one up with you. We're gonna get to the next part of it. So Alan, what's your thoughts on a running back at 10?
No, that's a little too high for me, man. Like, I feel like what the group is saying, that's just a little too much. I feel like trading back. That's kind of been my stance about Ryan. You go ahead and scoop back a few picks. If go back to 25, who cares? Get all the draft capital within that first 4 rounds, because I believe all the talent is in the first 4 rounds. When you start getting into like 5th and 6th, you ain't very few times you're gonna find Tom Brady. That's one of the million. So I just feel like if we can get a good quality talent within the first 4 rounds, that's what I would want to do. And Hampton, that's my guy too. I love that Chicago Clarence. Hey, Hampton is the real deal, man. I watched that kid play all year long. He can help us in the pass game, blocking. I mean, the kid does it all, and his teammates love him at UNC. So I would love for the Bears to go ahead and get a defensive tackle or a rush in. I think we need another one to go out opposite of Sweat, like the group saying. So I think we need to go defense and then safety within the third round or a linebacker in the third round. Second round, I still think we need to address the offensive line because of the age up front. Thuney is 32. I know that's not too bad, but we still need to get some guys in the saddle.
Man, I agree. So we got a Facebook comment from Brandon Savage right here. CJ, I'm gonna go with this one. You say he would rather work on getting the left tackle spot together. We just brought in a good mentorship. So CJ, this is somebody that gave something else, man, about the left tackle spot. Is Braxton Jones safe? What do you think about the left tackle position, man? Because I read before early in the season, off season, that it's going to be a competition between him and Karan. So, CJ, do you think that the left tackle spot needs to be better, or what's going on? What do you think about this comment?
I definitely think for sure it needs to be upgraded. That's just my opinion, because we know Braxton Jones struggled against the bull rush, right? So, I think we need to get a better, a more solidified left tackle at that spot to better that Bears offensive line.
Yeah. So Andy, what do you think about that, Andy? Left tackle, man, what we doing? Because Braxton Jones, he can't handle a bull rush to save his goddamn life. Like, whenever a team decides that's okay, we tired of playing with the look at Bobby, just whatever they ready just to give it to us, balls, they destroy him, man. So this is a good comment, working on a left tackle right here, man. What do you think? What do you think, Andy?
Well, first and foremost, like we said on our show last night, is he going to be ready to go, period? Because that was a pretty gruesome injury he suffered. There's no guarantee he's going to be ready to go. So I think we need to work on left tackle regardless, because he's not guaranteed to be ready. But as you said, if you bull rush Braxton Jones, you will get to our quarterback every time in every game. Like, the book is out on him, the scouting report is out on him. Just open up the scouting report, read the first sentence. Bull rush Braxton Jones, you will get to the quarterback. We can't have that anymore. He would be best on a Super Bowl team. He is probably a bench player, your first tackle off the bench. He shouldn't be a starting left tackle. I'm done with him as a starter.
All right, we got man, these comments are coming, boy. We appreciate the comments. Thank you so much. We got Isabella right here. She said, man, I agree with that, trenches. She says, I agree with the trenches because we could probably fill other positions in free agency. There's going to be skilled position players to come available for and after the draft. So, Alan, what do you think about this comment right here, man? We can fill other positions in free agency. What do you think?
Well, shout out to Isabella, man. That's a good comment. I think we're going to address the offensive line. I really believe offensive line is going to be addressed in free agency. I think by we getting a couple of guys in the trade market, that way we give up a little bit of capital to get them. But I feel like the offensive line, the left tackle position, I've been champion Jones for a while, man. I just think his coaching, you guys, I feel like he wasn't coached the way he needed to be, because he's got talent, man. Jones got talent. He's an athletic big guy. He played basketball in high school, man. He just can't stop the bull rush, y'all. But as far as like the athleticism he can do, he got long arms. It's just technique, man. I feel like if we get a good offensive line coach to come in there, man, and clean that stuff up, he might give us some good minutes out there, man. But that coaching is a big deal, man. If we didn't have a good offensive line coach, Morgan should never be offensive line coach at any level going forward.
Stinky. But all right, we're gonna keep it moving. We actually got some grades. And Bobby, I want you to talk about these grades. Now, he's 32 years old. These are his grades from last year, but let me get to comments first. I don't want to be rude to the chat. CJ Latham says, Tyler Coleman, that's fine, let him. They sleeping, Clarence. They sleeping on that, man. Clay said they sleeping. We got Clay saying, damn right. What's up, Andrew? Illinois Natty, man, my little nephew, right? He said, I don't know if I pick Amari Hampton in the first round. Like I keep telling people, if you're not Adrian Peterson and you can shed tackles like a damn fool, I'm not picking you at 10, bro. Not at all. He said, you got to think about it, though. Ashton Jeanty is a blue chip player. I agree with that. And Allen always talks about we need more blue chips. And CJ says, do a thumbs up for watching on YouTube. So, but Bobby, these are our stats, man. 32 years old, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, 79.9 PFF graded. People like PFF will hate it. 12th at 135 guards. 82 passing block grade. That's 5th in the NFL. Only one penalty out of 1,115 snaps. 0 sacks allowed. Bobby, what does that say to you right there, bro?
That the Bears made the right decision.
Preach.
Bears actually went out there and did what they were supposed to do. And to get him for a 6th round pick next year, you gotta cough. You do gotta cough up a little change for him. I ain't gonna lie. You're gonna have to cough up a little change, but I still think that, to everybody's point, you still gotta attack the trenches so that next guy can come in and learn behind a Pro Bowler, All-Pro, a 4-time champion, a future Hall of Famer, and then he can step in, whoever that player may be, and then take the mantle to carry this forward. We don't have that many offensive linemen that we can think about that was like, damn, that offensive lineman for the Chicago Bears was good. I'm pretty sure everybody here, we're going to be like, who is the best offensive lineman we had in the last decade? Maybe the last 2 decades. Everybody going to say Olin Cruz. Olin Cruz been out of the league forever.
Damn.
So,
That's cold-blooded, man.
look at the Eagles. They knew Jason Kelce was about to retire. They drafted a center, learned behind this Hall of Famer. Now look at the Philadelphia Eagles. This man, Jalen Hurts, was able to order Domino's, Pizza Hut, and we know Wingstop. If you order them on goddamn Uber Eats, you gonna wait forever. Jalen Hurts was able to make them calls and get what he ordered. I want that for my quarterback. Can we sit back there, dice it up a little bit, move around? Then Caleb be like, all right, I'm going to escape and I'm going to use my superpower and throw on the run. This man, literally, it was hike the ball, 1-2, I got to go. Let him make some calls to some pizzerias, maybe some margaritas or something so we can eat good for once in our life. Please.
Let him take a nap back there for one time, huh, Bobby? Let Caleb take a nap real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let Caleb Williams do the damn stumble play that Ben Johnson did in Detroit. That's how much goddamn time we need for
those
Caleb
type of
back
plays
there.
don't happen with a good offensive line. Trick plays don't work if your offensive line is terrible.
That's true. So
100%
Chicago clearance, man. I'm sleeping kind of good at night with these numbers from Thuney right here, man. So 82 passing block rate, 5th in the NFL. That's top 5, baby, at 32. I can sleep a little bit better at night with this right here. So what you think about this right here, these numbers?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, that's the type of player that we need on our offensive line. This is the kind of stuff we only dream about. Hell, we don't get these kind of numbers if we're playing Madden with our offensive line. You know, you can't sit there and have a number 1 overall pick and then you got traffic cones out there trying to protect them. Just ain't gonna happen. You know, so we have got to invest in the line. I'm glad that Ryan Poles is finally deciding to do that. And one more thing about Ashton Jeanty. I know we closed the book, but one more thing. People need to remember the kind of competition.
We got a comment. Hold on, look. It said, do you guys think at 10 is a high pick at a running back? You think Bijan Robinson picked that 7 too high? Don't the Atlanta damn Falcons got 3 first-rounders on that line? But go ahead.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. You got to remember who you put in the running back behind what line. Because if we were 2 years down the road and Ashton Jeanty's coming out and we don't invest in that line, I'm all for drafting him. But people keep falling in love with what he can do. You got to remember the level of competition he was doing against. He wasn't doing it against Power 5. He don't play in a Power 5 conference. So he ain't going against Power 5 defenses. So you sitting up there going against the Sisters of the Poor and the YMCA All-Stars and thinking that this guy's the second coming, and he's not. You need to remember that. He ain't going up against Georgia defense. He wasn't going up against Alabama defense. He wasn't going up against LSU defense. He wasn't going up against Ohio's defense. Hell, he wasn't even going up against Notre Dame's defense. So stop acting like this guy was just all world. He is not. You can get a guy in the later rounds who can give us what we need. Hampton.
Man,
you got the dude from Arizona State. You know, that dude can cook. He can eat. He can break tackles. He can run between the tackles. So we can get all that in later rounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Chicago clearance of the Bears Den podcast. The man will cook the hell out of you. He'll cook anybody. So Andy, so what are your thoughts about this, man? And I'm gonna go to Alan. So how do you feel about this sleeping that night, or even the Gentry stuff? You can comment on, man. What's your thoughts, man? I don't want to lose it.
My favorite lines on here is 1 penalty and 1,115 snaps. Last year, 3 snap penalties killed our ass. They killed us. They absolutely killed us. We were behind the chains all year because of 3 snap penalties and 0 sacks allowed. I'll take that all day long over what did we have last year? 69, 77, 97 sacks. Yeah, the last 2 lines I love. The 3 snap penalties, man, that killed us last year. That we have got. If we can clean that up, we will be a much better offensive team if we stay in front of the chains instead of constantly behind them. That will help us tremendously.
Hey, and I agree. So Alan, you saw the numbers from Thuney, man. But look at this shit right here. This man allowed 0 sacks last year. Caleb had 60. They had 68. One man did not allow a fucking sack, bro. Alan, this damn near blew my mind, bro. When you see this, man, what's your thoughts, Alan, man? Like, what's up, bro?
Meaning he pays attention to detail. For you not to give up a sack in the NFL with all the scouting you have to do as an offensive lineman, you got to realize, man, you're going against the biggest and the baddest dudes in the world. I feel like as far as physicality in a sport of football. And you didn't give up 1 sack that somebody penetrated 3 to 4 yards. That lets me know you watch tape, you work really hard, and you got an attitude, meaning you're not going to touch my little brother at my quarterback. If you don't have that attitude as an offensive lineman, you're not, what the hell are you doing it for? Your prime possession and your job is to protect the quarterback. That's your job. And open lanes for the running back. That's your job. And he has been a consummate professional, and he pays attention to details, and he's in the film room watching guys' tendencies. If they're lazy, they get off the snap counts late. That's the thing that we've been missing. This guy can point out stuff in the film room, and the coaches can just sit back and just learn themselves. He's that type of talent coming in the locker room. He plays from the neck up, and that's the one that can help our offensive line grow, like a Jones, like a young tackle, Wright. Them guys haven't had a guy in the locker room that can teach them the things to learn on detail. The offensive lineman position is about details. And he's one of those guys, by this stat alone, lets me know he studies his ass off.
And this is something that CJ been saying. I don't know how long CJ been saying about the lack of leadership from this team has been not on his team for so long, man. So CJ, what are your thoughts about this right here, man? Because it seems like we got a Hall of Famer at guard. We got a leader. So CJ, you've been talking about this lack of leadership for a long time, man. So what do you feel about it now that we got that ace? You know what I'm saying? We got that guy.
I mean, it feels good. It feels good. It feels good that, as a Chicago Bear fan, when the Bears can go out and get a guy like Thuney, a guy who's been with the Patriots, with Bill Belichick, a guy who's been with the the Kansas City Chiefs. So he comes from a winning pedigree. So that the Bears need that kind of leadership on their team. Mm-hmm. They never had that.
Yeah, and we're gonna go back to Isabella coming. I'm gonna go to Chicago fans about this too. And this was when Bobby and everybody were talking about who was the last offensive line that we had. She said Big Cat Williams, Blake Rockenmeyer, the OG. He took it back. Chris Valerio. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, she took it back to Big Cat. Because, you know, Big Cat used to be a defensive lineman. When he came in, originally, he was a D lineman for the Bears. And we switched positions. I think under Jerron. I think Jerron put him in tackle. Y'all can help me out if I'm wrong, but I think it was Jerron who switched him to offense. Yeah, and he did really well at tackle. He was mean as shit. Big Cat was mean, man. So that's what I loved about Big Cat, man. He was a mean dude. Like, you know, so Isabella, shout out to you, girl. Let me find out.
Hey, we got some of the smartest people on the Facebook, on Chicago Bears Facebook, and on X. You know me, I'm Thanos, so I'm getting all the smart people, all the reasonable, and the real Bears fans. So, and she been rocking with us since the inception of CNG podcast. So, and she know ball, bro. Like, you don't want no smoke with her, because I done seen her destroy other followers on that Facebook page, bro, and kill you with facts as far as football. So
shout out to Isabella.
Yeah, don't play with her. She on YouTube right now, but don't play with her. So who was I going to with this? Oh, I was going to Chicago Fans. I'm gonna go to Bobby Soda. So Chicago, man, what we thinking, man? What is this? 68 sacks most in the AL, 0 fucking sacks, 1,116 snaps. That just shows you the polar opposite the Chicago Bears are as far as stability on the offensive line, right?
Absolutely, and it's why, you know, you were saying something when we first came on about how I've been killing Ryan Poles. This is the reason why I have been doing it. You can't come in and tell Justin Fields, okay, we're going to give you a wide receiver because this is a prove-it year for you. And oh, by the way, instead of us hiring somebody on offense that knew what they were doing, we're going to give you a defensive head coach. But we want you to be able to overcome that. But we're going to go out there and we're going to get DJ Moore, and you should be able to rock with that. And you don't give him nobody to protect him. He's running for his life. And then once you make the decision to move on from Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams, and oh, by the way, I have my feelings about that, but all right, Caleb Williams is here. I'm going to rock with him. It is a crime that you don't put a bona fide offensive line in front of that guy. He is your franchise quarterback. You're telling the world and everybody who will sit down and listen to you that he's going to be the face of your franchise. Well, and then you have the audacity to go out there and sign people that nobody else wanted to protect your franchise player. What sense does that make? And now you want me to give you a cookie because you're finally doing what you're supposed to have done years ago when we could have took that #1 pick and got a boatload of help for this team and become what the Philadelphia Eagles are right now, what the Kansas City Chiefs have been for 5-6 years. We could have done that. It all lined up for us because we wanted to be stupid and we wanted to be arrogant to draft people high up and not draft offensive line. We're wasting picks on people who ain't even on the team no more. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna go out there, and I love the guy, but you drafted a punter in early rounds. That is arrogance, and it's stupidity, and it is incompetence. When you got a quarterback that you spent all that capital on get hit 68 times, it's inexcusable. So he's finally doing what he should have been doing all along. I'm going to give him credit as things start to come along. You're trying. I get it. But you got to do more. You can't draft Ashton Gentry at number 10. I'm sorry. You can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a guy in here from YouTube, and I'm going to let Bobby destroy this dude. Like, y'all, you're not about to do this, bro. If I got a picture of Caleb Williams in here, you couldn't get it, bro. Oh, you know what? You know what? This is what he said right here. Because I love the interaction that we getting from everybody right now. But hold on. Hold on. Bobby.
Yo.
Do you hear me? This is what the dude from Real Bears fan. You got that attention. They about to give it to you. Now we just need a quarterback. Bobby, please.
Just put this guy over there with all the idiots that's talking about Roma Doomsday not being good enough as a wide receiver. Just put this bozo over there with guys that want to just shun off Cole Kmet and act like he didn't have multiple games with no targets. How do you be productive if the ball ain't even flying your way? And, like, don't get me wrong. The 68 sacks, we gonna blame the offensive line, and I'm pretty sure everybody here say, hey, Caleb, you can't take that. Us as Bears fans, everybody on this panel, I done seen y'all kick it and groove and talk y'all shit for a long time, and everybody say, hey, Caleb, you can't take certain sacks. But let's keep it a grin. If I hike the ball and immediately Tevin Jenkins is getting blown up, Braxton Jones is getting blown up, Nate Davis don't even want to play. Coleman Shelton is on his backside multiple times throughout the season. How can you sit up here and say that we need a new quarterback? And I'm not going to sit up here and act like Caleb Williams was this great, outstanding quarterback last season. But let's remember, in the Washington game, gave us a chance to win. In the Indianapolis game, gave us a chance to win. In the last game of the season, gave us a chance to win. It's not our fault that the damn coach wanted to go out here and try new trick plays. Wanted to go out here and cut fullbacks that you was going to ultimately need to punch the ball into the end zone. It's not our fault that Brian Poles hired a bozo and said, I'm going to rock with him. Okay, Virginia. Okay, George. I know that this is supposed to be my process. I'm going to listen to y'all, though, and I'm going to go out there and get a guy with an acronym.
Man.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, keep it real. Like, if we going to analyze football, this guy did not have the greatest season, but we got to call it how we see it. He gave the Bears, through all the turmoil, through multiple games that I'm probably not even mentioning, opportunities to win down the stretch, and bad coaching decisions cost them the games. His career's just starting. We don't know where it's going to go. Sit back, relax, buckle up. We gave Justin Fields his 4 years. Let's give this young kid his 4 years, and then we can evaluate after that. But to say that we need a new quarterback right now is asinine and premature.
Yeah, you know what, real Bears fan, like you out of pocket, bro.
Take
because
this
I've never seen a quarterback
from the front of the name. Take the real
take the real off in front of your name, bro, and just put fake ass Bears fan, because you ain't watched none of the games. You didn't pay attention to the man throwing over 3,000 yards, 20-some touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 450 yards rushing, and he led us to 5 or 6 victories with all that around him. Name me a quarterback you've ever seen in your fucking life that did this. I'll wait. Matter of fact, I'll turn off my camera. I'll come back in 10 seconds. I'm going to let Chicago clearance go. Let me know.
So this is the thing that bothers me. When you can go back there and you got to keep all that, I respect everybody's opinion. But if you're going to give an opinion, give me facts. And at least try to sound halfway intelligent while you're giving me that opinion. Because there is no way that you can sit there and talk about we need a real quarterback when you ask Caleb Williams or any other quarterback to deal with what he had to deal with. The incompetence game in and game out of how we ran our practices. You know, reports came out that this man had to spend his own money to be able to break down film. Tell me what other franchise would treat their franchise quarterback that way? How is it that this man got an offensive coordinator, he's got a quarterback's coach, he's got a head coach that wanted to be on screen, calling him into his office when we was watching Hard Knocks, trying to go over stuff, and he still had to go into his own dime and pay for film breakdown and do it all on his own when you got coaches in the building. You only gave him 3 offensive coordinators for the whole damn season, for God's sake. So you explain to me how you expect him to operate under that. Explain to me how you expect him how many times did we see replays and we saw the whole line on the ground getting knocked down? How many times do we see that? Everybody's on the ground. Every single one of them. But you're still going to sit there and tell me that this man was not bona fide or he was not worthy to be the #1 pick? They didn't ask Jayden Daniels to do that. You're going to go out there and get him offensive coaches that had never even called plays before. Then you turn around and you go get Shane Waldron simply because you're going to credit him for resurrecting Geno Smith's career. I'm sorry, but did Geno Smith win the MVP? Did he even win comeback player of the year? No. So what the hell are you talking about? Because he looked halfway decent, you're going to give him all this credit, and then you're going to go hire the guy who was calling plays? Stop it. You don't know what you're talking about.
This guy is 30 years old, man.
This guy threw 6 picks.
Hey, Chicago Clarence, I guess we forgot when Caleb was on the bench and he was ticked off and Shane Waldron was like, hey, man, we're going to go get a McDonald's a Big Mac later. Like, what the?
Laughing
Yeah,
on
what
the
are you doing?
sideline, bro, laughing.
And we getting
Laughing while we getting hosed. Like, what's funny? I guess it's because they direct deposit had just hit and his wife sent him a text message saying, hey, baby, we out here stealing money. It just came in again. They paid us for the job that you doing. They gave you money again. And you suck. So that's what he was laughing at because he's out there stealing money.
Oh my God, Chicago Clarence is, oh my God. Oh my God. Yo,
let the church say amen. Shoot.
Amen.
But it bothers me. One last thing. It bothers me. How dare you come up here and call yourself a real Bears fan when you don't sit there and look at facts? If you want to know facts, watch the CNG podcast. Watch the Bears Den. Sit down, pay attention, and shut the fuck up. And you'll learn something.
You can either leave or stay at that, my boy. All right, and I think somebody brought up, and I was gonna bring this up, man. That was good. I think somebody brought up Khalil Mack, man. I think I brought some Khalil Mack shit in here. Hold on, I think you know what I did? See, I do my job right sometimes, man. So Andy, Khalil Mack and his reporters and everybody on his team, they say he wouldn't mind coming back to Chicago. Hold on, I gotta say this. We have 250 people in here right now, bro. 250 people in the live viewership right now, man. So shout out to everybody in here right now. Follow us, the CNG Podcast on X. Follow me. Follow the Bears Den Podcast on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, on TikTok. Follow Chicago Bears Central everywhere. Follow Shabu Podcast on Facebook and on X, man. These guys know football, bro. This has been my crew for the longest time. And this is what we do. We cook, man. So we appreciate everybody that's in here right now in the viewership, man. We appreciate y'all. We passionate Bears fans, and we love to do this. But Andy, what are your thoughts about Khalil Mack coming back here, man? Because his family's still here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I see this one on social media a lot. This was really heating up. Really heating up. It's always about this. How much? How much does he want? I mean, what's it going to take? 12 million a year, 13 million, 14 million? I mean, he would be a very good piece across from Montez Sweat. I mean, I'm not against it. I mean, I would like them to still draft an edge player and have him in and still sign Mack maybe. I'm not against bringing him back. But again, how much is it going to cost? That would be my question. How much? How much do you want?
So I got your answer right here. They're saying, according to Pro Football Focus, for a 2-year deal, it's going to cost around $45 million with an average of 22.5 with $40 million guaranteed.
I can't.
So, how do you feel about that?
I can't do it. 11, 12, 13, I would be in on. 20, no, I can't do it. I mean, I got too many other needs. I mean, I need an edge player, but I also need a defensive tackle. I need offensive linemen. I still need tight ends. Like, we only have one tight end under contract right now. Cole Kmet. That's it. The other 2 we have let walk. We still need tight ends. We still got questions at safety because of Brisker's health. I mean, we got too many other needs. I can't give Matt $20 million. I can't do it. 11, 12
Allen,
million,
man.
I could, but $20 million, I cannot.
Allen, I know the nostalgia is running crazy. Everybody can't give over the 2018 Bears and how long he was here. It makes sense. But Allen, man, what are your thoughts? You've been kind of been pounding the desk for this dude to come back. I've been talking to you in the private chat. You didn't mind this, so what's your thoughts, Allen?
Yeah, man. I understand, but you know what, y'all? We can always negotiate, and hey, we always negotiate. I want 20, but you ain't gonna get 20. You might get 15. We're gonna meet somewhere in the middle, Andy. You know, so we're gonna meet somewhere in the middle. Yeah, we just negotiate. You know, he just letting them know. He letting everybody know this is what I want, but that's not what you're gonna get. But Khalil Mack has already played with Dennis Allen. Yeah, he already played with Dennis Allen. I think Dennis Allen needs a guy like Khalil Mack. I know they were throwing around another name with a young guy from Ohio State, Chase Young, but Khalil Mack is a standard. Like, he gonna get you double-digit sacks. He's blue chip. He just a little older, a little longer in the tooth, but he brings a certain standard in that huddle. And that's the standard we're missing. I think he's worth $15 million. I don't think he's worth 20, but I think 15, he's worth it because he gives you a little bit more in the locker room. He gives you leadership across the line. He's definitely a great technician as far as the defensive end spot. I want Khalil Mack back, so I'm pounding the table, Andy. I want him back in the Chicago Bears uniform yesterday. So, because he fixed the scheme, that 4-3, that elephant system, he is the guy. And Sweat will benefit, and he'll look like a $98 million DN with Khalil Mack on the opposite side. Yeah, we're going to get an inside interior lineman in the draft. I don't think we're going to get one in free agent because those cost way more than $15 million. So I think Khalil Mack is going to be a stopgap. 2 years is the most I can do unless he gets a renaissance. Other than that, I'm going to stick with 2-year deal. $30 million, that's the best I can do, Khalil. But he'll come back home for that, I believe.
I mean, I'm not against bringing him back, but I can't do 20 million. Like negotiate. No. I gotta come down off of that. I can't give him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bobby, Bobby, so
he gonna come down.
This fits, man. This fits. Like we gotta get somebody. Well. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it fits well. I'm with Andy on this one. I wouldn't want to pay 20 mil, but to Allen's point, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. I still got the Mac jersey.
Let's talk about
it. Got the Mac jersey.
That's it. Let's talk about it.
The white one right now.
Got a little dust on it, but hey, throw it in the wash and put
it back. So Chicago Clarence, what's your thoughts on this, man? Because we got somebody trolling you, bro.
Yeah, we do.
Did you give up or something like that and all this? He's talking about he got more for you, Chicago Clarence, man. We ain't gonna keep on getting to this. This dude is holding up the show, man, but he talking crap like, bro, you trolling right now, but
this guy does not know Clarence in real life. He has no clue. He has no clue. He's not even got started yet.
Yeah, he has no clue. So Chicago, what's your thoughts on Mac, man? Because I wouldn't mind the back, but that $20 million with everything else we got to do, we got to pay Javon. We got to pay Kyler Gordon. You know what I mean? We got to pay for the tickets for the stadium, all this other shit as the fans. We got shit to pay for ourselves. So we can't give you $20 million, Khalil. Goddamn, brother, we got to start at somewhere around like 13, 12. But how you feeling about it, Chicago, Clarence?
I would love to see Mac back there on the team, but it's got to be at the right price. You know, one thing we hadn't talked about that the Bears desperately need is a center. Coleman Shelton is not there. I don't care if Coleman Shelton wanted to play for free. We got to upgrade him at the center position. Plain and simple. We cannot roll back out there with Coleman Shelton as our center. You know, we got that dude, that Dahlman down there in Atlanta. That's who I want to see. I want to see us go after him. And we can't afford to do that if we're going to turn around and give Mac $20 million. We already done brought our salary cap down significantly with the 2 moves we done made the past two days. And like I said, we got options. We can still go in there and we can restructure people. We can restructure DJ Moore. We can restructure Sweat. But all that is doing is kicking the can up the road for further seasons, for further problems. Because in 4 years, guys, we're going to have to pay Caleb Williams. So we need to remember that. We need to make good, sound decisions right now. And giving Khalil Mack $20 million right now, can't do it. Can't do it. No. But for the right price, I'll holler at you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say at the right price, I'll holler, he can holler at me. We can talk. But it can't be at 20. Cannot be at 20.
Yeah, man, because how much you want to come home to Chicago, Khalil? Like, that's what we got. We got Chicago, your family here. So that's already got us a point up right there to get them back to talk down. Like, apparently your wife or your girlfriend or your kids love it, man. They love it out here. So you didn't move, so that's a step in the right direction. But Allen, man, how do you feel about this guy right here? Like, Chicago Bears fans, Twitter fans, Bears Nation, they want this dude so bad. So how much money are we going to throw at him, get him here? I want to know that for everybody. Like, how much money is it going to cost to get him here, man?
Yeah, he gonna be north about 60 million as far as guaranteed money, man. He's gonna set the market for centers, man. And that's kind of what his guarantee gonna look like, about 60 million, man. That's gonna be spread out over about 5 years. That's a lot for a center, man. I mean, I think he's like 25, 26.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's still at a good age. I think, so that's a lot for a center, man. And the center is kind of the most important piece, but the centers are so, centers are mainly drafted because you have to pour into a center more than you have to do any other position on the line. You got to pour in scheme, technique, strength, and conditioning. It's just a lot to go with that position in the NFL because the center makes the most calls after the quarterback. The quarterback and the center make the most heady calls during the game of football. So that's why I say you got to pour a lot into a center, and that's why they like to get them young so they can be sponges. That's why when you get about 32, 33, them centers kind of fall off the wayside because the young centers are the value because you put more into them. So I think with him, I think he's worth it. He's going to set the market, but it just depends on how Ryan wants to shape that salary cap. Is it worth putting? He's going to be our A-list free agent, but then there's nothing really you can do after that if you don't start cutting people. Me personally, I'm coming after Edmonds' money. $20 million for a nickel linebacker, I can't do that. I can't do that. So you got to give me some money back. And that way I can spread that out. If it's a couple of guys, we can attack them contracts to get a guy like this. He's worth it, but Ryan's got to do some salary cap gymnastics to kind of fit this guy in the fold.
I see your head. Go ahead, Bobby. I see you over there.
Well, I was gonna say, I think when I was looking on Spot Rack not too long ago, it was about, his projection was about $13.5 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
That's still some money. That's still some change you're gonna have to cough up. So to Chicago Clarence point, when we come to Khalil Mack, hey, the front office gonna have to decide on what they want to do and how they gonna move, because $13 million, that's just gonna continue to dwindle down their cash, and you got moves to make. To Allen's point, look, man, hey, Tremaine Edmonds, look, I think that was with a better
DJ
D-line, I think with a better D-line, you will see a better Tremaine Edmonds, but I will say right now, when you look at the linebackers, the better choice has been TJ Edwards for a lot less money.
Oh,
he's a steal.
If we keep
that's my guy, man. Love me some TJ.
So to Allen's point, you might not be able to save much money cutting Tremaine Edmonds this year, but next year, you might see Tremaine Edmonds on the street for sure.
We're gonna see it. We got a couple more things we can talk about, man. It's been a great show, man. 263 people on here right now. Shout out to Bobby for staying. He said he gonna stay for 30 minutes, man. But my boy ended up staying for the. But this shit fun, bro. When we get the crew in here, we get you, we get Alan, we get Andy, we get Clarence, bro. This shit, the time just leave, bro. Like the time just be gone. So this is super fun, man. So is he worth it, Andy? Is he worth it, Andy? Is this worth the price of admission? I think it is. For a center, just to go over what Alan was saying about the conditioning, he makes just as amount of calls, the second most calls after the quarterback. I think it's worth it. What you think, Andy?
I'm looking at his contract. The PFF predicts somewhere 4 years, $56 million, $30 million guaranteed is where its starting point's going to be. It's about what Bobby said with Sport Rack.
Okay.
Yeah, he's worth it. We need a center. I mean, when was the last time we had a center not named Owen Groot? I mean, honestly, he's worth it. We got to upgrade center because we have none on the roster right now. We have none on the roster right now. Coleman Shelton, free agent. Kramer's a free agent. We have no center on our roster right now. We got to pay him. We got to protect our quarterback. That should be the most important thing. Protect your franchise quarterback and surround him with weapons. Those are the first two rules when you get a quarterback. Protect him and surround him with weapons. We need to protect him. So I think he's worth it, which probably going to push Mac out of the picture because that's a lot of money to pay us.
Yeah.
But we have to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we got
we
Clay
can't
saying
pay a
Bobby
senior
is the GOAT.
citizen $35 million. Sorry.
What'd you say?
We can't pay a senior citizen $20 million a year to come play football for us. I'm sorry. Can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, I loved him when he was here, but you're not going to secure your retirement package on our dime. Not when we're trying to get better and win.
You ain't collecting them social security checks from us, buddy.
I'm trying to help, bro.
And we got Clay right here saying Bobby is a GOAT, man. Shout out to Clay for staying the whole time, man. CJ and Bobby been knowing each other for the longest. They brought me in a few years ago, man. I've been knowing Bobby for probably about 4 years now, man. And he still messes with us, comes on our podcast when he can, like it's day one, bro. So shout out to Bobby from being a real one and pulling up when he can and uplifting the platform in any way he can when he's available, bro. I appreciate you so much, and I know CJ feel the same way about you, bro. This show wouldn't be what it is without you when you come on, big dog.
The show, it's always love, man. And CJ, every time I see you, bro, I'm excited to see you, bro, because I know what you went through, bro, and I'm happy for you and G Walker for what y'all building. And it's good to connect with the guys like Allen, for sure. That motherfucker been cooking ever since I known him. I only known him a couple months, and then I meet guys like Clarence and Andy. It's always good to have good people in the Bears Nation. We ain't got to agree on everything, but if you agree with somebody's point, you don't necessarily got to agree with it, but they might have some strong points. You can take your side and keep on rocking out so we can all come to a informed decision on how we going to move because, like I said earlier, off season, Bears be owning that, but we won't win in the season, man, for real. I think everybody agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to get to the last talk pieces right here. A couple of guys got tendered and a couple of guys didn't. You know, Jack Sanborn didn't get tendered, man. He's pretty much some cut right now. His ass is gone. But we're going to talk about the people that did get tendered, that they got offers for a deal. And CJ, we're going to start with you. Bill Murray, man. I don't think he gave up a hurry. I don't think he gave up a sack. Bobby, anybody correct me if I'm wrong. He was a good depth piece, so it makes sense that they kept him around and tendered him. So CJ, how do you feel about Bill Murray getting tendered, man? Because you want whatever helps Caleb stand up, whatever protects Caleb, we got to keep him. So what you think about this, CJ?
I mean, we definitely need to get more depth on the offensive line. I think he's probably a good piece to have, especially with the new offensive line coach coming in. Maybe that can get him up to speed, but you definitely need more depth on your offensive line. So I think it's a good move. We're keeping him.
I love it, man. So, Alan, what you think, man? I saw him playing this year. I was like, you know what, man? I would like for us to keep Bill Murray, not the comedian, not the dude from Groundhog's Day or the Ghostbusters. Right. I'm talking about the dude that played for the Bears, not the dude that was on the movie. So, Alan, what's your thoughts on this tender right here, man?
I remember one play this year, man. That dude was playing guard, right guard. He ended up over there with Jones on the left side. That means, he was covering blitzing, and he stayed vertical with the quarterback, meaning he stayed in front of the quarterback as a body guard. Most guards, they sit down in the inside the gaps and they don't move. He was hitting at least 2 or 3 guys on that play. And I was saying, that's what an offensive lineman supposed to do. When you uncovered, look for work. Look for work. So I love me some Bill Murray. And that's why I think the Bears bringing him back, because he has some potential to be a good quality backup. And with good tutelage, he could probably turn into a decent lineman, especially a right guard, because of his physicality against the run. So that was a good job by Ryan bringing him back.
Chicago fans, what's your thoughts, man? Because I like I say, man, I can't say anything better than what Alan just said. But what's your thoughts, though?
Yeah, I was just going to echo that. It's good to have somebody on depth that can play 2 positions, and the main thing about it is the guy did it and didn't complain. He did the best he can build it, and he was doing just as good of a job, if not better, than the person he was replacing. So I thought that was a good move. Sanborn, I'm not surprised with, because of the kind of defense that Allen wants to run. Sanborn cannot play up the seam. He's not good in pass coverage, and he gets exposed every time he's out there. And you can see the Bears giving up 3rd and 18, 3rd and 24, 3rd and 100. We giving up those third down conversions, and a lot of that's because Sanborn's out there getting exposed by the opposing team's tight end, and it happened all the time. So did the guy play hard? Yes, but can we find a better option? Yes.
I love it. So I love that, man. Will said 30 and 100 is crazy though. That's crazy. But Bobby, what's your thoughts on Bill Murray? Because we got one more person that got tendered. Hold on, man. Actually, real Bears fans saying some funny shit right now. You talking about Bill Murray? He said, "Who's next? Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase at center." Hey, that's funny as hell. But he cooking right now.
I just want to finally see this coaching staff develop some talent. We heard about Strowman. We heard about Bill Murray. We heard about the young fella from Canada. United States got some beef with Canada, but that we ain't getting political. My bad. But we also had J. Tyree Carter. We had J. Tyree Carter, who was supposed to be a developing piece. Karan. I just want to see. So it's good that Bill Murray was tendered to try to see if we can develop him. But I still got my eyes on this coaching staff because how many times you gonna continuously have these young prospects that come in and none of them really pan out? Like, have any of them panned out? What, Braxton Jones? Like those later round guys pick up off the street. Yeah, so it's cool. I ain't mad at it. You want to keep big bodies within the program to see if you can develop some and have good depth. But I believe it when I see it at this point.
Yeah. All right, then I'm gonna go to Andy. With this one right here. I don't know if you could tell me about this guy got tendered too. Daniel Hardy, I think he was on special teams. He got tendered, man. So, what's your thoughts on Daniel Hardy, Andy?
He provides depth. I mean, he had tremendous preseason last year. Him and Austin Booker. I mean, they were terrors last year, and he made the team because of his preseason. And he mostly played on special teams. So I'm not surprised. He played very well on special teams, and we still need pieces.
Did.
I mean, that's basically what he is, a good piece on special teams. I mean, they never really gave him a chance to come into a game on defensive end. I would have given him a chance towards the end of the season. The season was over just to see what he could do. But special teams-wise, he's exactly what we need. He did a good job. I think he made lots of fun during the season. He made some special team tackles. I think he deserved to be tendered.
I think so too. Alan, what's your thoughts, man? What you got? I know Alan got a little bit more. Well, I know what you got, Alan.
Well, just to echo what Andy was saying on the special teams, he had a couple of block punts this year. He had a couple of plays that he gives you maximum effort. He's a guy, man. He loves the heat. Like, he looks for contact. That's what I love about Daniel Hardy. And I believe that they might stand him up more a little bit with Dennis Allen. When he came when he came with us as far as into training camp or from college, he was a stand-up linebacker in the 4-3. So he can play a little wheel if necessary, so scheme versatility and position versatility, I'm pretty sure Allen will find something for him, but he's going to be a quality depth piece across the board. So I echo what Andy was saying, just to add a little bit. He's a special team dynamo. That's what I like about him. Him and Blackwell, those are quality special team guys. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them.
What's your thoughts on this before we get out of here, Chicago Clarence, man? I like it too, man. I like that they're keeping guys that's going to help on the team. Like Bill Murray, he was good. Like Alan said, Hardy had a couple of block punts, but him and Blackwell back there, the special teams coach, he did a great job towards the end of the season. But what's your thoughts, Chicago?
Special teams coach is the only guy that kept his job when Ben Johnson put together his new staff. He kept the special teams guy, the only guy. A lot. And he loved Daniel Hardy. So Daniel Hardy is a guy that makes plays. He's a guy that can go down there and be an effective gunner. And everybody needs to remember the Bears special teams was one of the best in the league. So, it would make sense that we would keep one of the best players that we had on special teams. So, kudos to him. He's an example of somebody maximizing the opportunity that they are given instead of the stars on our team that's making a bunch of money, sitting up there crying and complaining and quitting on the team. This guy did not. So, glad for him.
Man, Bobby, CJ, what's your thoughts, man, on Daniel Hardy, man? I think it's a good piece before we get up out of here. CJ, can you hear me? CJ didn't paused out, but all right, we're going to get our final thoughts. Oh, what's your thoughts on Daniel Hardy, big dog? Take your time, bro. We pay for this, man. He's
another good depth piece to have on the offensive line. Another guy that you.
All right, CJ's having some technical difficulties, man. So we're gonna keep it moving. Get up out of here, man. We're gonna get everybody with their final thoughts real quick. Hold on one second. So we're going to get everybody's final thoughts, man. We appreciate everybody that showed up, man. One thing on CNG Podcast we don't necessarily pull up with a podcast every week, every day, every week. No shade to nobody that's doing it. It's just we want to give you guys a lot of show. Like, we don't want to waste no one's time. We want to make sure we got a lot to talk about. It's the off season anyway, so when I'm producing these shows and I'm putting this stuff together, I'm trying to get so much stuff to talk about that we're able to go an hour and 41 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I can bring in a Bobby. I can bring in a Chicago fan. I can bring in an Andy. And I can bring in Allen. Like, these guys know football. Allen knows ball. Chicago, Clarence, and Andy know all. Like, these are the OGs, man. So I don't want to waste their time respectfully and just have them on the podcast without having them maximizing their expertise and their potential. So I would never do that. So shout out to all you guys that showed up. Shout out to Bobby for coming through, elevating the platform, bringing his expertise, man. Bobby knows football. Bobby played running back. So it's just a beautiful thing to have him come on our show when he can. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate you staying a whole hour and 40-something minutes, man. So thank you for coming. I'm going to start off with Bobby, though. Bobby, what are your final thoughts? So we got 282 people in the show right now, bro. That is a record for us over here at CNG Podcast, man. So shout out to everybody in here right now.
I just want to say shout out to CNG, man. Shout out to Chicago, Clarence, Andy, and Allen, of course, my man CJ G. Walker. It was, as always, a great time to get on with good men, first and foremost, and then also talk about the sport I love more than any other sport in the world, football. It's the best sport in the world to me. So as always, come over here and talk that stuff, break down schematics, talk about how the team can improve. And we just hope that the team can finally improve. I want to see the Bears in the playoffs. Please get me to the playoffs. I'm tired of watching other teams and like, damn, I love the game, but I'm a little salty because my Bears ain't here. I want to see my Bears in there. But it's always a great time, man. G-Walk always putting together some great topics to talk about, to where you hear a bevy of different views and viewpoints where people can come in and just be themselves. So it's a hell of a platform. Big shout out to the elevation on the platform. And hey, if y'all want to follow me on anywhere, I got NFL Central. I'm just kicking up with me and my man Steve-O, Chicago Bears Central. And then with you Bulls fans, we talk about the Bulls on Shy Bulls podcast, even though there ain't much to talk about with that sorry ass team. But Montes Boozeller. So other than that,
hey, I want to give y'all some. Hold on. I'm gonna let everybody go with their final. I want to give you and Dub credit, Hayes credit, bro. I tapped out on doing. Me and CJ tapped out on doing that Bulls podcast, bro. The fact that y'all keep going along with that Bulls podcast out of 82 games, bro.
We delusional, bro.
No, look, the way my life set up, I don't have time for, bro, to do 82 games. I don't. Bro, I give y'all all the respect in the world to keep that Bulls podcast going, because me and CJ was like, man, we out. Fuck that. We ain't doing that shit. We delusional,
bro. I ain't gonna lie. We delusional Bulls fans. Hey, but it is funny.
Chicago Clarence, man, what's your final thoughts, big dog, before we get up out of here, man?
First off, I'm going to echo what Bobby said. Shout out to everybody who stayed in the chats and commented, helped make this show what it became. And shout out to you guys on your prospective shows, and thank you for having us on the Bears Den podcast. It's always good to sit there and be able to talk ball with a bunch of other folks and like-minded individuals who love the same team that you do. And Lord knows we've been through some ups and downs when we going through it all together.
Yeah.
So I could definitely appreciate that. So just appreciate it. Anytime you need the Bears Den podcast, man, just shine the light in the sky. We'll see the sign. We'll put our cape on and we'll talk ball.
Love it. Andy, what you got, man? What's your final thoughts on anything, bro?
Again, what everybody else said. Thank you for having us, Skywalker. You do a tremendous job with your show. Bobby, I've seen you. I didn't know exactly where you were before, but I've seen your show and watched it before. Now I wrote it down so I can check you out later. Alan and CJ, it's always good to see you guys. Chicago Clarence, we live in the same city. You got, well, Walker, you get to meet him this summer. You get to see him up close and personal. This is what you see on the show is nothing when you get to eat it. Trust me. Trust me. But anyway, like Clarence said, please check us out on Bears Den Podcast. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I just want to see the Bears win. That's all I want. I want to see us get to the playoffs, start challenging for division titles, conference championships, Super Bowl titles. I just want to see us win. Start winning. And it's like when people talk about Chicago Bears, oh, we got to get back to the winning tradition. Win. We haven't had a winning tradition since when? Forever. When you realize it's the Super Bowl era, we are a losing team. Look it up. We are a losing team. Our record is losing. Since McCaskey's took over, we are a losing team. We're a losing franchise. I mean, I just wanted to get back to the winning tradition, I guess, when George College was the coach. When we were winning championships before it was called the Super Bowl. That's what I want. Let's be hoisting trophies again. That's all I want.
Y'all hear that? Y'all got this man out here begging, man. Come on, man. Come on, Kevin Warren. I know you watch the show, man. Come on, Kevin. Get this shit together, man. We tired of Eddie tired. I'm tired. Bobby tired. Let's fucking win. CJ, what's your final thoughts, C?
I'll be with the rest of the fellas, man. I'm tired of seeing the Bears lose. I definitely want to see them win, and I definitely think this year they're gonna do it. You know, they're coming out aggressive with all these moves they're making. It's a beautiful thing to see. Hopefully they can keep it up, man, for the season.
All right, and with that said, we gonna end it.
That's all I got to say.
And with that said, man, we're gonna end it with our boy, man. It took us, I'm gonna say 3 damn seasons to find that third member, man. It took us. We had women, we had Angel. We had I forgot that girl name, Antoinette. We had what was the crazy dude named Phantom? Like it was some weirdos that we was coming across, man. Like people stealing people stealing content, people stealing my formulas. This shit got crazy. So you know, when you set out your goals, you want to accomplish something, you want a good person to be a part of your team, be a part of your brand, be a part of your business. It's gonna take a while, bro. Like these people like Allen does not grow on trees. People like Chicago fans not growing trees. You have to be patient if you're trying to elevate and want something as a platform to grow, because it's not going to happen overnight. So the fact that we found our third member of the CNG podcast, bro, somebody that knows way more football than me, that could break it down football to the point where I can understand it a little bit better, and he just get dope ass takes. Like every time he say something, Allen just smokes it, bro. It don't matter what it is. I can listen to Allen talk all day. So Allen, so for one last chance, big dog, one last time, give us so I can hear you, man. Give us some final thoughts, bro.
Well, man, I appreciate the kind words, man. You know, you and CJ, man, y'all gave me the light, man. So I appreciate y'all, man, always, man. So, you know, I'm always gonna be, you know, grateful for y'all meeting up with me, and I'm meeting up with y'all. So it's just been a perfect tandem. And I enjoy doing shows with Bobby and Chicago Clan. We be arguing Chicago, but we kind of agree today. You know what I'm saying? So and Andy. Me and Andy kind of see the world kind of the same, but it's like, you know, I kind of understand what Andy's saying. So I love what Andy and Chicago got going on, man. So I appreciate everybody who listened to us today, all 280 that stayed in the chat. Shout out to Isabella. You know what I'm saying? I love the content play. You know, I'm pretty sure Craig out there somewhere. So, man, I just appreciate everybody, man. So we're going to keep it moving, man. And And I want the Bears to keep moving, man. Ryan Poles, don't go to sleep, baby. Ain't time to go to sleep, baby, till the season starts. So I need you to stay wide awake for free agency and the draft. You're in. I need y'all to get us out this hole because I don't want to see Andy, my guy, CJ, G Walker, Bobby, and Clarence. We ain't doing too much more begging after this, Ryan. We need results this year. You got to get us out this slump. So I'm ready to win, man, and that's pretty much it, man. So shout out to everybody, man. Peace.
And look, I don't know when the next podcast gonna be, bro. Like stuff gotta happen. Twitter Spaces, like I don't know. People ask me all the time. Just to keep it, I don't know. Like stuff gotta happen. So when stuff happens, a podcast will happen or a Twitter Space will happen, and then that's it. But with that being said, man, we out here. God bless, man. Peace and one love. Everybody be safe. Get home safe. Kiss your loved ones, man. Nothing is promised. Nothing is guaranteed. Life is short, so enjoy the moments, but don't live in the moment too long. Keep it moving. One love. You walk around out. Peace.
Peace.